cling to trousers in various sizes in hopes that one day you'll fit into them again? Wouldn't it be nice if your pants changed to fit you instead of the other way around? Today I'm going to make that happen with a pair of history-bounding trousers that will always fit, with giant pockets and a nice stretchy waistband. Hey y'all, Jackie here and welcome to Fantastical Follies. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to make a pair of adjustable pants with 17th century stylings using Regency construction. This is a method more than an actual pattern, one that you could even use to add an adjustable panel to a pair of pants you already own. Before I get into making these, I'm going to talk briefly about my inspiration for this project. If you'd rather just see me do the thing, you can skip to the chapter titled Assembling the Pants. This is the third part of my Adelasia project, where I'm turning myself into a mage straight out of my own fantasy novel. I knew when I was writing this that the mages were going to be wearing long, loose pants. But then I was thinking, well, what would that look like in late 17th century France, where historically people just wore breeches? They'd look like a petticoat, probably, and they'd be adjustable. But how to make that work IRL? I started to think about maybe doing a fall front when I started making my pirate pants in January, but I still couldn't come up with a way to make the waistband expand behind the fall front. Even a few weeks ago when I was about to start this project, I was still desperately thinking I was gonna have to put in a zipper when I saw Shannon Makes do a video on the coquelicot skirt. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Sorry. It had lacing behind the fall front. Genius! And then I thought, well, okay, that's great for a skirt, but pants, the last thing I want is to have to undo and then redo that lacing every time I need to use the restroom. The answer? My Regency panic gown. For those of you who aren't familiar with the way that these are fastened, let me show you. As you can see, the bodice is fastened using 2 ties over the bust. Then you pull up the fall front, tie the skirt in the back, and then use pins to pin up the bib. It would work for a pair of pants. Okay, let's make these things. First, I needed to figure out the pleating before I cut out of my good fabric. Off camera, I pinned my pleats on my mock-up until they looked the way I liked. One side was better than the other, so I measured just that side, trued up all my lines, and drew them onto the other side of the pants. Then I pinned everything together. Now I needed to draft out the front band. I took my fitted block I made in my last video and placed it over a scrap bit of paper. I measured 10 inches down from the top and made a mark. Then I carefully traced out the lines of my block onto the paper. Once that was done, I used my straight ruler and my French curve to smooth everything out. Then I cut it out. To attach, I ripped 10 inches down the side seams and then pinned the flaps on and tested it off camera. First time's the charm. First attempt at making the front work the way I wanted, and it worked. That, my friends, is the beauty of having a fitting pants block. So I bought this on super sale from Mood a couple of years ago. It's cotton poplin with a slight stretch to it, and it's a really nice hand. It's a hideous color. I bought this intending to dye it. Next time you see this fabric, it's gonna look a lot different. Yesterday I dyed my fabric, and today I just ironed it all out. It didn't turn out the color I wanted. I wanted a deep, rich green, and it is jade. Now, I don't hate it, but I have plenty of dark green thread. I only have this much jade green and no bobbin, so this is not enough. I'm gonna get as far as I can tonight, and hopefully the box store right by my apartment carries thread this color, because I don't have time to go to the other end of town to pick up magic thread. I did a really good job dyeing it, so I'm not gonna try and re-dye it. First of all, I don't have enough dye. It took a whole container of dye to dye this 5 yards of fabric. It's so heavy. And I just don't want to mess that up by trying to re-dye it a different color only to have it not turn out. So I'm gonna live with it for now. Let me widen my pattern out and let's get everything cut. Because I'm using wrapping paper for this pattern, I didn't want to use pins while cutting because it rips so easily. I'm using books instead. Do you recognize any of the titles? Let me know in the comments what you've been reading. I'm always looking for good recommendations. Notice here that I'm giving myself an extra 1.5 inches at the bottom of the pants. That's because I'm going to hack off the bottom portion as a cuff and hand paint it. Cut 2 long strips on the fold for the front ties. For the waistband, cut 4 separate pieces. My fabric has stretch only on the cross grain, so when I cut my waistbands out, I made sure to cut on the cross grain to give myself a little elasticity. Mine were 23 inches for the front, 17 inches for the back, and 2 6-inch pieces for the inner 2 panels, but that will change depending on your waist size. Cut 2 inner panels plus 2 additional panel facing pieces. I wanted 1/4-inch tapes for the ties, but I forgot to buy some, so I decided to make self-fabric ties instead. Cut 4 strips, each 1 inch wide. Sew these on the machine and turn them out to make the ties. Definitely want to use the string method for this. The construction of trousers is fairly straightforward, if a little counterintuitive. So I always like to start with the crotch seams, because if I don't, I always end up sewing the wrong sides together. Pin the center fronts and center backs and sew on the machine. It's always good to use a tailor's ham to press these seams open, especially if you've got a weird back seam like I do. To make the cuff, measure 5/8 of an inch from the bottom and draw a line. Then measure up 5 inches and draw another line, plus an additional 5/8 of an inch for seam allowance. Cut that baby off. Yikes! It's always good to mark your fronts, backs, lefts, and rights. To make the front panels, first measure 3/4 of an inch away from the top and bottom on the right side. Place 2 ties below these lines so the raw edges meet up. If you want, you can base these down, but I decided to live on the edge and just pin them. Next, place the facing down over the panel, right sides together, and stitch along the side and bottom edge. Clip your corners, then turn right side out and give it a nice press. Because I'm tight on thread, I'm just going to leave the serged edges open on the back since it won't be seen, but if you'd like, you can finish that edge before you sew it onto the panel. I'm going to finish the bottom seam though, so it looks pretty in the pictures. So far, you haven't really seen anything out of the ordinary, but this, my friends, is where things are gonna get a little weird. We are going to lay in the pockets and the front under panels at the same time. But first, I'm an idiot and forgot to account for the position of the pockets on the panel. Okay, that's better. Moving on. On the front panel, measure down 2 inches from the side front. This is where the pocket is going to start. Place your pocket piece onto the panel right sides together at the mark, so the back of the pocket is facing down. Pin. Do the same thing to the back of the trousers and sew. Once that's done, iron your seam allowances out toward the pocket and then top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the seam on the pocket side. This is an important step and prevents the pockets from poking out the side of your trousers. Place the front panel onto the back trousers with right sides together so the pockets line up. Now pin the side seam starting at the top, working your way around the pocket bag. There's a small amount of front panel at the bottom of the pocket. Make sure to pin that to the pants back as well, as this will help anchor the pocket. Once that's sewn, iron the seam. Don't buy Rowenta irons, y'all. They're expensive and they leak all over. Now flip the front panel out and iron the pocket opening. This is to help keep the pocket opening nice and neat. I don't have a clapper, so I'm using some books instead. See how nice and neat that is? Now we need to attach the side fronts to the side backs. Make sure you pin at the very bottom of the pocket and then pin down the leg. Then sew the side seams, carefully back stitching at the bottom of the pocket. My hems don't match, but don't worry, we'll fix that later. Now we're going to sew the inseam. The most important thing is that the center front and back seams match, so start there and pin down one leg, then go back and pin down the other. Give everything a good press. Then, like an 18th century pocket slit, I'm going to turn in the loose edge of the front part of the pants twice and hand stitch it down using a whip stitch. Post-run Jackie here. Y'all, I am stuck. I haven't been able to work on these pants for 2 days because I cannot come up with a good design for these freaking cuffs. My original intent was to do kind of a hand-painted Baroque style pattern on that portion of the trousers. I can't come up with a design that I like. I also don't really like the color of the paint I picked out with the color green that these pants have turned into. And unfortunately, I don't have the time or the resources to fiddle around with the dye mixing to change the color pants and get this video out. I really want to move on to something else. I have a lot of things to do this year, y'all. So I've decided that I'm just going to sew the cuffs back on. If it looks really bad, I'll slap some temporary trim on there, but I think I'm just gonna live with the pants for a little bit, figure out what I'm gonna do with the dye later. I'm hoping to get almost all the way through these trousers today. All I have left to do is set in the pleats and add the waistband and the cuffs back on. Seems like a small amount, but we all know how my plans always go. So cross your fingers for me. Let's see how much I can get done. The hardest part of this project, I think, is getting these pleats right. Using my mock-up as a guide, I measured the distance between the pleats and the seams and marked them on my fabric. It's at this late point in construction that I realized my friction pens don't erase on this fabric. So I marked the rest of the pleats on the top seam allowance only, and I hope to the gods that nobody notices the weird white dotted lines on my ass when I wear these pants. Once that's done, pin the pleats in place. Say that 10 times fast. Then I pinned the waistband on so I could get a closer idea of how the pleats were going to fall on my body. Yeah, they look a heck of a lot better than that chaos of a bookcase behind me. Give the pleats one nice, long iron before leaving the weights on until the fabric has time to cool. It's a lot of time, but it's definitely worth it in this case to keep those pleats nice and neat. Now it was time to add the waistband for real. Pin right sides together, matching seams and centers, and lining the raw edges of the trousers up with the raw edges of the waistband. If you'd like, you could use some interfacing in this step and add some stability, but I want this to have some stretch for comfort, so I'm opting not to do that. On to the front ties. Sew them right sides together and then cut one end of each at a 45-degree angle before sewing that closed and turning right side out. Iron it flat and poof, we have front ties. Once the waistband seams are sewn, fold the waistband in half and iron. Then from the wrong side, press the seam allowances up toward the waistband, then fold the band down. Turn under by 5/8 of an inch and pin the waistband down to sew on by hand. Before you do the same to the front, however, you need to attach the front ties. I accidentally cut these way wider than my waistband, but for ultimate drama, I'm keeping them and opting to pleat them down to fit the waistband at the side front. Pin these in place to the outside edge of the waistband and sew them down. Time to even out those pesky bottom edges. Measure a straight line perpendicular to the side seam. Then even out the hem from that point so it's nice and even. Then cut off the excess fabric. Then, because I think they're a tad too long, I'm measuring up 2 inches from the bottom. I then folded that 2 inches up on the inside and pressed. Next, from the outside, I pinned the raw edges of the cuff to the folded edge of the pant bottom. Alright, so all that's left to do are the last finishing touches. So while I hand sew down the back of the waistband and finish attaching the bottom cuff, let's talk about this project. I am so happy with the way that these turned out. I had no idea that they were going to look as good as they did. I honestly thought they were going to be kind of janky. This is only the 4th or 5th pair of pants I've ever made in my life. And for them to turn out so well with only one real mock-up before this is awesome. I did end up changing the cuff length. Originally, I had pushed it up 2 inches, but when I put them on, it just wasn't hitting me at the right spot, so I moved it down and used my original 1-inch seam allowance for that, so I did move it down 1 inch. The ends of the cuff, as you can see here, are really messy. I was so careful to finish all of my edges inside these trousers because I want these to last me for a very long time. And then at the end, I was so ready to be done and so frustrated with this project that I just didn't care. I just wanted to get them finished. I may, if I get more thread, go back and serge all the edges and re-sew it down. I only have like one layer, like half a spool left of thread. I almost ran out, so I do think they'd hold up better if I serged those edges, so we'll see what happens there. Now these trousers are super, super wide. That was intentional. The character that I'm emulating here is a wielder or a mage, and they are the wealthiest group of people in this universe that I have made. And so for me, I wanted to make extremely wide pants because fabric was so expensive in the 17th century. Naturally, if you are one of the wealthy, you're going to want to show off how much excess fabric that you can buy. That being said, if you want to make these trousers, you could easily do it and reduce the amount of width. I think I added a full 6 inches to the front and a full 8 inches to the back. You could cut that out and just have normally with the pants, and I think it would turn out just as well. I also intentionally constructed this in a way that would make it easy for me to alter the fit. I hand sewed the waistband down, I used pleating. This was intentional because I want these pants to be part of my forever wardrobe. I want these to be something I wear all of the time and that are going to fluctuate with me as my body changes. As is, they are expandable or retractable. I wanted the option to be able to change that even more if I need to down the line. Thank you all so much for watching this and making it this far. It really, really helps me when you watch through my whole videos, and I appreciate it so much. These pants were really fun to make. I definitely am going to save my pattern pieces. Maybe I'll make another pair in a different color down the line, play up with the widths or something, but it's definitely a keeper. Let me know in the comments if I've inspired you to try this method with your pants. I think it would be so cool if we brought adjustable pants into the mainstream and made it a thing. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, our clothes should change to fit us. We shouldn't have to change to fit our clothes. As always, if you found value in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't. I have a lot of fun content coming up in the next few weeks, and I'm so excited to share it with y'all. All right, let's go put these babies on and see what they look like. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like to watch more great pants content, why don't you check out this video here where I draft my own fitting pants block the cheap and easy way.